Hey guys, this is Spartacus here, and this is going to be the year of first-person shooter games. And so the reason why I am talking about this, because we are getting quite a few games that look very promising coming out this fall around October and November time, just right before Christmas, for us to play. And every once in a while, we'll have a year where a bunch of different types of first-person shooters are coming out around the same time to compete against each other. Call of Duty, of course, gets released every single year, and so that's always to be expected. But this year we are getting a new Battlefield game called Battlefield 2042, which looks very promising. I think all of us have our fingers crossed that the game is going to end up being really good, because so far from what we've heard about the game and seen gameplay, it looks very promising and I cannot wait to play it. Also, Halo is making a return. Every once in a while we'll get ourselves a Halo game, and this time Halo's multiplayer is going to be free, which is pretty dang awesome. But of course, Halo is an Xbox exclusive and PC exclusive, I suppose, as well now, and so I think the player base will definitely be expanded now that Halo has kind of transitioned to PC recently. And then of course we also have other types of first-person shooters trying to make their way into the scene. For example, we have Splitgate out right now, which is pretty much going to stay in a beta phase from what it sounds like. I have no idea. Either way, Splitgate is a free-to-play game that is on every platform except for maybe Nintendo Switch, which has also been gaining a lot of popularity. So much popularity that the servers keep getting flooded and everybody keeps getting into really long queue times just to find a match. And so we have Call of Duty, Halo, Battlefield, Splitgate, and I guess even Apex Legends is starting to make a comeback, because right now Warzone isn't looking too hot just because of the whole hacking situation, and so a lot of people have actually switched over to Apex Legends and start streaming that game and starting to make that game become more popular. Of course, by the time Call of Duty Vanguard comes out, or at least sometime after it, we are going to be getting an anti-cheat for PC of Warzone, so it looks like the hacking situation is going to die down a lot by the time that gets implemented. But either way, this is going to be the year of first-person shooter games, you guys. There is a lot to look forward to, and there's a lot to actually choose from depending on which games we want to stay dedicated to. As a hardcore Call of Duty player, every year I always see people say on Twitter and just online in general saying that Call of Duty is dead, I'm not buying the next game, there's the same game every single year. Things I see all the time. And for the people who say that Call of Duty is dead, it is definitely not dead. Call of Duty is a very casual game out there, and of course there are people like me who are very hardcore in the franchise and who are like above everyone else when it comes to skill level, although my skill level isn't that super great, you guys. Even though I might be considered above average, I'm definitely not considered a good Call of Duty player by any means. But yeah, every year we do get ourselves another Call of Duty, and sometimes it just feels like they're just milking the Call of Duty franchise, and there's just some titles, especially these past few years, that are just not good. For example, Modern Warfare 2019 is the worst Call of Duty game I have ever played. I know some of you will disagree with me, but I just cannot stand that game. And so hopefully Vanguard, which apparently is going to be on the same engine as Modern Warfare 2019, which isn't necessarily a bad thing because I thought the graphics in Modern Warfare 2019 were pretty good. So my hopes for Vanguards are actually pretty fingers crossed at this point. You know, there's a lot of things I've heard. I've already talked about my concerns on the channel about how there's some things I feel like that will make the gameplay really bad, and I hope that isn't the case. I really hope the gameplay is good. I do have faith in Sledgehammer Games, and I know they can make good Call of Duty games because they did with World War II, and they can definitely do it again with Vanguard, which is still in a World War II setting. So fingers crossed for that game. But going on to other games like Battlefield, it's been a while since I've stayed dedicated to a Battlefield game. Battlefield 4 was the last Battlefield game that I really stuck with, and I played so much hours into it. I mean, I put so much hours into Battlefield 4, you guys. Holy smokes, it was so much fun to play with friends. It was even fun playing by yourself. The experience was amazing. And of course, after Battlefield 4, the scene had really died down a lot. You know, the game after that was Hardline, which was kind of this cops and robbers game, which you got to give Battlefield credit for the Hardline game, because you don't really see any cops and robbers type games out there. And I think they did a very successful version of a cops and robbers type game. However, I think it was a real turnoff for Battlefield fans just because it wasn't really Battlefield. It was cops and robbers. And then after that was Battlefield Battlefield 1, which definitely got popular when it first came out because it was in a World War I setting, something you don't really see a lot of video games do nowadays. And my friends and I actually did play it when the game first came out, and it was fun. You know, Battlefield 1, I think was a great experience, but unfortunately, the hype for it didn't really stay very long, which is really, really bad. And then, of course, right after that was Battlefield 5. Really weird naming their titles after another, but Battlefield 5 was World War II, and the reason why Battlefield 5 didn't gain so much popularity is because we were still in a past setting. You know, we were going from World War I to World War II, which really isn't that big of a difference in technology and weaponry, and so, yeah, that was a real, like, a turnoff for a lot of people as well, even though DLC was free in that game, which was awesome, but the hype still really wasn't there. I never even bought the game, unfortunately. And now here we are with Battlefield 2042, which looks very promising. It's a slightly futuristic Battlefield game, and they have a new game mode called Portals, which you can it's basically a custom game mode type feature where you can pretty much do anything you want as like a host. You can like do so many different things to actually create your own match. And so I think the Portals game mode definitely is going to have a longevity to it as long as they keep updating more features into it. That is awesome. I think that was a huge announcement they put out, and I cannot wait to try out Portals mode. And you can still rank up and go through the Battle Pass playing it, which is amazing. So Battlefield looks very promising. I really want to play it and see how it turns out. You know, of course, I will most likely still be sticking with Call of Duty just because it's really hard for me to move away from it, just because I'm trying to get better at the game itself, and it's just something I've been following for so long. But Battlefield, I'm going to try and put more hours into it because that game just looks really good, and I really hope the hype does stay relevant when the game does come out. The other game that the Call of Duty and the Battlefield franchise is competing with is Halo. Now, Halo is only available on Xbox and PC, so unfortunately, PlayStation players, or I guess even Nintendo Switch players, won't be able to experience the new Halo. However, Halo's multiplayer is going to be free, so Halo Infinite's multiplayer is going to be free to everyone on PC and Xbox, and I think this is a huge, like, positive direction for them to do, because I think this promotes a lot more free games that we see trending nowadays. For example, Splitgate, which we'll probably talk about here in a second. But Halo is one of those games you don't see come out too often, and I know the Halo franchise has kind of died after Halo 3 or Halo Reach, and yeah, people just really weren't that interested after that. And so Halo Infinite is pretty much the doorstep to not only bring old Halo fans back, but bring in new players like myself. I don't really consider myself a Halo fanboy. I never really played it back in the day because I didn't have a 360, an Xbox 360, and so I did play like Halo 3 a little bit with custom games with my friends, and I did play some Halo Reach. I played entire campaign of Halo 4, so I do have some experience with Halo, but it was something I never really got into, and so maybe Halo Infinite can change my mind on that depending on how the game goes. Either way, it looks pretty fun. I know some people got lucky enough to actually play some sort of beta or alpha of it based on like the codes they would get randomly, which very lucky of you who were able to experience that. But either way, the game seems like it's gotten positive reviews so far, even from that tech test or whatever it's called, the alpha, and so I'm looking forward to see what it's like when the game fully comes out. So we've talked about the three biggest franchises out there: Call of Duty, Battlefield, and Halo. I don't really want to talk too much about Call of Duty Vanguard just because that's pretty much what I've been talking about the last week, honestly. And so yeah, those are three huge franchise games that are coming out this fall, and oh man, it's going to be really interesting how the YouTube and Twitch scene is going to turn out when it comes to people streaming it and which one becomes on top to be the most popular. And then of course right now we still have other first-person shooter games that are starting to gain more popularity. For example, we have Splitgate, which is essentially a copy and paste version of Halo in a way, except with portals. And so I'm sure a lot of you guys have already heard this game. Maybe you tried it out for yourself. I have personally tried it out myself, and it is like exactly like Halo, except of course there's portals. And I do wonder how many Halo fans are playing this right now and how many will actually switch over to Halo Infinite once that full games come out. So Splitgate, you know, I don't really know who the developers are, who are the people that made this game, but they're going to have to really push this game's marketing and try and get people to draw people's attention in to stick with Splitgate once these new first-person shooters come out this fall, because right now Splitgate is a free-to-play game. I don't know how much customization there actually is in the game other than stuff you buy from the items shop. I haven't put enough hours into it, but either way, Splitgate definitely has potential. It is very fun to play. If you guys haven't tried it out, I highly recommend it. It's not on PC. Oh, it is on PC, but it's also on Xbox and PlayStation PlayStation. So if you guys want to download it on there, you can go ahead, and it's completely free. It's only like 11 gigabytes, which is awesome, so it doesn't take up much storage. But Splitgate, I think in order for it to stay in the scene, it really got to push its marketing. It's really got to push out some really major updates that will grab people's attention and come back to the game. And so I think it's going to be pretty difficult for Splitgate to stay competitive with these other FPS games, but we'll just have to wait and see how it turns out. And the last FPS game I want to talk about very briefly, and I may make a video showcasing some gameplay and just talking about the game in general, is Apex Legends. I've played this game a little bit back when it very first came out. It was very popular when it first came out. It seemed like all of a sudden it just went out on like the Xbox Live Marketplace and like on PC, and I think even on PlayStation 2. I don't remember if it was an Xbox exclusive at the time, but either way, I remember when it first came out, it gained a lot of popularity, but then died off really quickly, and now it seems like the popularity of Apex Legends is starting to rise up again for very good reason. And the reason why I think the popularity for Apex Legends is starting to become to an all-time high right now is because of their ranked mode. This is a battle royale game that has a ranked mode, something we don't see in Warzone, which would be amazing if we saw something like that, because it would convince all the tryhards to actually go ahead and start playing on ranked instead of the casual playlist. Of course, also remove skill-based matchmaking and casual playlists. Come on, guys, we don't want that either. But anyway, Apex Legends is very rewarding when it comes to ranked play, and they've done a very good job with it. So a lot of people are going to play that game to play it competitively, which I think is great. This is a game I just downloaded on my computer. I do have it on my Xbox as well, but I haven't touched the game since it first came out, and I really want to go back and play it now that I see that it's becoming more popular, and just see how different the game is now back when it first started. And so Apex Legends, I think, can definitely keep its popularity. There's always been a little bit of a fan base in Apex Legends ever since it came out, but now that the game is starting to gain more popularity, let's see how many of these streamers and YouTubers out there decide to switch over to these other FPS games when the fall comes. But anyway, this is the year of FPS games, you guys. Every once in a while we'll have something like this, and so I think it's very important to note that these games are going to compete against each other to try and become the very best game on top, and that is a good thing. We want competition, especially as a Call of Duty fanboy. I want competition for the Call of Duty scene. Call of Duty has not had any good competition in quite some time now, and seeing how good Battlefield is and seeing all these other FPS games making a scene, this is Call of Duty's chance to get their shit together and give what the player wants, especially us dedicated Call of Duty players. Give us what we want. Remove skill-based matchmaking, or at least tone it down a lot more than what it is right now, and give us a reason to grind the game. Seriously, that's something we want. And of course, make the gameplay actually enjoyable. Don't make it like Modern Warfare 2019, and for God's sakes, I pray to COD gods, do not make it like Modern Warfare 2019. God, I said that really weird, you guys. Anywho, that's the end of this video, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and of course, smash that subscribe button for more videos every single day. And one thing I would like to take a note here at the very end of this video, I am probably going to start uploading shorts on the channel. This is something that I've been thinking about, and I kind of figured out the formula on how to actually upload shorts on my channel, and so I really want to start doing that. So if you guys just want to see some short clips and stuff like that I'm able to record and post it here on the channel, you're more than welcome to watch them, and I just want to see how it turns out. So make sure you stay tuned on the channel to see these shorts, and of course follow me on Twitter. There is a link in the description below that'll take you to my Twitter page if you guys want to follow me on there. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I shall catch you guys later.